In the intricate fabric of life, death is an inevitable reality. Islam, as a comprehensive way of life, offers guidance and solace even in the most solemn of moments. Islamic funerals transcend mere rituals, embodying deeply spiritual journeys that pay tribute to the deceased while comforting the bereaved. These ceremonies signify the transition from this mortal realm to the eternal hereafter, serving as a poignant reminder of our own mortality. In Islamic belief, death marks not an end, but a passage to eternal life, a return to our Creator Allah, and a moment of profound significance. Consequently, funeral rites are conducted with utmost reverence and respect, reflecting the gravity of this transition. The Islamic funeral process is rooted in simplicity and humility, underscoring the equality of all before Allah. Regardless of one's social standing, wealth, or accomplishments in this life, all are equal in death, shrouded in plain cloth, and laid to rest in the earth. This journey, from the moment of death to the final burial, is a communal experience that calls upon the community to rally around the bereaved family, offering support, solace, and fulfilling their religious obligations towards the deceased. Through this collective effort, the community embodies the values of compassion, empathy, and unity, providing a source of comfort and strength to those in mourning. Volume 2, Book 23, number 329, narrated by Abu Dar. Allah's apostle said, "Someone came to me from my Lord and gave me the news, or good tidings, that if any of my followers dies worshipping none, in any way, along with Allah, he will enter paradise." I asked, "Even if he committed illegal sexual intercourse, adultery and theft?" He replied, "Even if he committed illegal sexual intercourse, adultery and theft." Volume 2, Book 23, number 330, narrated by Abdullah, Allah's apostle, said, "Anyone who dies worshipping others along with Allah will definitely enter the fire." I said, "Anyone who dies worshipping none along with Allah will definitely enter paradise." Volume 2, Book 23, number 331, narrated by Al-Bara bin Azib. Allah's apostle ordered us to do 7 things and forbade us to do other 7. He ordered us to follow the funeral procession, to visit the sick, to accept invitations, to help the oppressed, to fulfill the oaths, to return the greeting and to reply to the sneezer, saying, "May Allah be merciful on you," provided the sneezer says, "All the praises are for Allah." He forbade us to use silver utensils and dishes and to wear golden rings, silk, clothes, dibaj, pure silk cloth, chisi and istabrak, 2 kinds of silk cloths. Volume 2, Book 23, number 332, narrated by Abu Huraira. I heard Allah's apostle saying, "The rights of a Muslim on the Muslims are to follow the funeral processions, to accept invitation, and to reply the sneezer." See Hadith, No. 331. Volume 2, Book 23, number 333, narrated by Aisha. Abu Bakr came riding his horse from his dwelling place in As-Sun. He got down from it, entered the mosque and did not speak with anybody till he came to me and went direct to the Prophet, who was covered with a marked blanket. Abu Bakr uncovered his face. He knelt down and kissed him and then started weeping and said, "My father and my mother be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Prophet. Allah will not combine 2 deaths on you. You have died the death which was written for you." Narrated Abu Salama from Ibn Abbas. Abu Bakr came out and Umar was addressing the people, and Abu Bakr told him to sit down, but Umar refused. Abu Bakr again told him to sit down, but Umar again refused. Then Abu Bakr recited the Tashahhud, that is, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and Muhammad is Allah's apostle. And the people attended to Abu Bakr and left Umar. Abu Bakr said, "Amma Badu, whoever amongst you worship Muhammad, then Muhammad is dead, but whoever worshipped Allah, Allah is alive and will never die." Allah said, "Muhammad is no more than an apostle, and indeed many apostles have passed away before him, up to the grateful." 3.144. The narrator added, "By Allah, it was as if the people never knew that Allah had revealed this verse before till Abu Bakr recited it, and then whoever heard it started reciting it." Volume 2, Book 23, number 334, narrated by Kharija bin Zaid bin Thabit al-Allah. an Ansari woman who gave the pledge of allegiance to the Prophet, said to me, "The emigrants were distributed amongst us by drawing lots, and we got in our share Uthman bin Mazun. We made him stay with us in our house. Then he suffered from a disease which proved fatal when he died and was given a bath and was shrouded in his clothes. Allah's apostle came. I said, 'May Allah be merciful to you, O Abu as-Sa'ib. I testify that Allah has honored you.' The Prophet said, 'How do you know that Allah has honored him?' I replied, 'O Allah's apostle, let my father be sacrificed for you. On whom else shall Allah bestow his honor?' The Prophet said, 'No doubt death came to him. By Allah, I too wish him good, but by Allah I do not know what Allah will do with me, though I am Allah's apostle. By Allah, I never attested the piety of anyone after that.'" Volume 2, Book 23, number 335, narrated by Al-Layth as above. Volume 2, Book 23, number 336, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. When my father was martyred, I lifted the sheet from his face and wept, and the people forbade me to do so, but the Prophet did not forbid me. Then my Aunt Fatima began weeping, and the Prophet said, "It is all the same whether you weep or not. The angels were shading him continuously with their wings till you shifted him from the field." Volume 2, Book 23, number 337, narrated by Abu Huraira. Allah's apostle informed the people about the death of An-Najashi on the very day he died. He went towards the Musalla, praying place, and the people stood behind him in rows. He said 4 takbirs, that is offered the funeral prayer. Volume 2, Book 23, number 338, narrated by Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, "Zayd took over the flag and was martyred. Then it was taken by Jafar, who was martyred as well. Then Abdullah bin Rawaha took the flag, but he too was martyred, and at that time the eyes of Allah's apostle were full of tears. Then Khalid bin al-Walid took the flag without being nominated as a chief beforehand, and was blessed with victory." Volume 2, Book 23, number 339, narrated by Ibn Abbas. A person died and Allah's apostle used to visit him. He died at night and the people buried him at night. In the morning they informed the Prophet about his death. He said, "What prevented you from informing me?" They replied, "It was night, and it was a dark night, and so we disliked to trouble you." The Prophet went to his grave and offered the funeral prayer. Volume 2, Book 23, number 340, narrated by Anas. The Prophet said, "A Muslim whose 3 children die before the age of puberty will be granted paradise by Allah due to his mercy for them." Volume 2, Book 23, number 341, narrated by Abu Sa'id. The women requested the Prophet, "Please fix a day for us." So the Prophet preached to them and said, "A woman whose 3 children died would be screened from the hellfire by them." Hearing that, a woman asked, "If 2 died?" The Prophet replied, "Even 2 would screen her from the hellfire." And Abu Huraira added, "Those children should be below the age of puberty." Volume 2, Book 23, number 342, narrated by Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, "No Muslim whose 3 children died will go to the fire except for Allah's oath. That is, everyone has to pass over the bridge above the lake of fire." Volume 2, Book 23, number 343, narrated by Anas bin Malik. The Prophet passed by a woman who was sitting and weeping beside a grave, and said to her, "Fear Allah and be patient." Volume 2, Book 23, number 344, narrated by Atiyah al-Ansariya. Allah's apostle came to us when his daughter died and said, "Wash her thrice or 5 times or more if you see it necessary with water and cedar, and then apply camphor or some camphor at the end, and when you finish, notify me." So when we finished it, we informed him, and he gave us his waist sheet and told us to shroud the dead body in it. Volume 2, Book 23, number 345, narrated by Atiyah. Allah's apostle came to us, and we were giving a bath to his dead daughter, and said, "Wash her 3, 5 or more times with water and cedar, and sprinkle camphor on her at the end, and, when you finish, notify me." So when we finished, we informed him, and he gave us his waist sheet, and told us to shroud her in it. Ayyub said that Hafsa narrated to him a narration similar to that of Muhammad, in which it was said that the bath was to be given for an odd number of times, and the numbers 3, 5, or 7 were mentioned. It was also said that they were to start with the right side and with the parts which were washed in ablution, and that Atiyah also mentioned, "We combed her hair and divided them in 3 braids." Volume 2, Book 23, number 346, narrated by Atiyah, Allah's apostle, concerning his dead daughter's bath, said, "Start with the right side, and the parts which are washed in ablution." Volume 2, Book 23, number 347, narrated by Atiyah, "When we washed the deceased daughter of the Prophet, he said to us while we were washing her, 'Start the bath from the right side and from the parts which are washed in ablution.'" Volume 2, Book 23, number 348, narrated by Atiyah. "The daughter of the Prophet expired, and he said to us, 'Wash her 3 or 5 times or more if you see it necessary, and when you finish, notify me.' So, when we finished, we informed him, and he unfastened his waist sheet and told us to shroud her in it." Volume 2, Book 23, number 349, narrated by Muhammad Atiyah said, "One of the daughters of the Prophet died, and he came out and said, 'Wash her 3 or 5 times or more if you think it necessary with water and cedar, and last of all put camphor or some camphor, and when you finish inform me.'" Atiyah added, "When we finished we informed him, and he gave us his waist sheet and said, 'Shroud her in it.'" And Atiyah, in another narration, added, "The Prophet said, 'Wash her 3, 5, or 7 times or more if you think it necessary.'" Hafsa said that Atiyah had also said, "We entwined her hair into 3 braids." Volume 2, Book 23, number 350, narrated by Hafsa bint Sirin. Atiyah said that they had entwined the hair of the daughter of Allah's apostle in 3 braids. They first undid her hair, washed, and then entwined it in 3 braids. Volume 2, Book 23, number 351, narrated by Ibn Sirin. Atiyah, an Ansari woman who gave the pledge of allegiance to the Prophet, came to Basra to visit her son, but she could not find him. She narrated to us, "The Prophet came to us while we were giving bath to his dead daughter. He said, 'Wash her 3 times, 5 times or more, if you think it necessary, with water and cedar, and last of all put camphor, and when you finish, notify me.'" Atiyah added, "After finishing we informed him, and he gave us his waist sheet, and told us to shroud her in it, and did not say more than that." Volume 2, Book 23, number 352, narrated by Atiyah. "We entwined the hair of the dead daughter of the Prophet into 3 braids. Waqi said that Sufyan said, 1 braid was entwined in front, and the other 2 were entwined on the sides of the head." Volume 2, Book 23, number 353, narrated by Atiyah. "One of the daughters of the Prophet expired, and he came to us and said, 'Wash her with cedar water for odd number of times, that is 3, 5 or more if you think it necessary, and in the last put camphor or some camphor on her, and when you finish, notify me.' So when we finished we informed him. He gave his waist sheet to us to shroud her. We entwined the hair of the deceased girl in 3 braids and made them fall at her back." Volume 2, Book 23, number 354, narrated by Aisha, Allah's apostle, was shrouded in 3 Yemenite white suhulia, pieces of cloth of cotton, and in them there was neither a shirt nor a turban. Volume 2, Book 23, number 355, narrated by Ibn Abbas. "While a man was riding his mount in Arafat, he fell down from it, his mount, and broke his neck, and died. The Prophet said, 'Wash him with water and cider, and shroud him in 2 pieces of cloth, and neither perfume him nor cover his head, for he will be resurrected on the day of resurrection, saying, Labayik,' that is like a pilgrim." Volume 2, Book 23, number 356, narrated by Ibn Abbas. "While a man was at Arafat for Hajj, with Allah's apostle, the fell down from his mount and broke his neck, and died. So Allah's apostle said, 'Wash him with water and cedar, and shroud him in 2 pieces of cloth, and neither perfume him nor cover his head, for Allah will resurrect him on the day of resurrection, and he will be saying, Labayik,' Volume 2, Book 23, number 300.